அறிவர் ரவிக்குமார் ஸ்டீபன் அவர்களை வாழ்த்துரை வழங்குமாறு அழைக்கிறேன். திராவிடர் மறுமலர்ச்சி மையம் என்ற அமைப்பின் மூலம் சமுதாய பணியினையும் இறை பணிகளையும் இணைத்து மேற்கொள்ளும் அறிவர் ரவிக்குமார் அவர்கள் தமிழகத்தில் அயல்நாட்டு அருத்தொண்டர்கள் ஆற்றிய பன்முக பணிகள் குறித்த ஆழ்ந்த பார்வையும் விரிந்த கண்ணோட்டங்களும் கொண்டவர். கால்டுவெல் திராவிட மொழிகள் குறித்து ஏற்படுத்திய புரட்சி புயலின் அடிப்படையில் தன்மானத்துடனும் கொள்கை பிடிப்போடும் கிறிஸ்தவர்கள் வாழ வேண்டிய தன்னலமற்ற வாழ்வியல் கோட்பாடுகளை செயற்படுத்தும் முயற்சிகளை மேற்கொள்பவர். வேத மாணிக்கத்தின் தன்னலமற்ற சமுதாய பணிகளையும் கொள்கை பிடிப்பு மிக்க இறை பணிகளையும் மனமாற பாராட்டுபவர். அவரை அன்புடன் வாழ்த்துரை வழங்க அழைக்கிறேன்.
Dr. John Samuel, Bishop Dr. Chellaya, Dr. James Daniel, Dr. Francis Muthu, Dr. Daniel Jairaj, Reverend Dr. Tenson Hector, Reverend Dr. Shanti Premkumar, Dr. Amuda Pandian, Dr. Jnana Chandra Johnson, Ms. Sheba Samuel, and all those who are watching this virtual book release function through online streaming. Good evening to everyone. Please bear with me. I'll be having my talk in English because I have invited some people from non-Tamil speaking areas. So for their benefit, I'm going to talk in English. It is indeed a great pleasure to be with you all in this unique function. I appreciate the initiative taken by the Institute of Asian Studies, who have come forward to record the history of the unsung heroes of yesteryears. The Institute of Asian Studies is doing a commendable job in documenting important historical events and books that has never entered the desk of the public houses. Whether it is about the documenting the arrival of St. Thomas in the southern parts of India, or the recent publication done few weeks back, the Pearl Canopy, the English translation of the poetic compilation known Pandit Kovai, every publication of Institute of Asian Studies worth the appreciation. I congratulate all the governing members of the board of the Institute of Asian Studies, more particularly Dr. John Samuel, the director, for taking this initiative. According to me, this book has sevenfold significance. First, this book is a history of a spiritual seeker. Maharajan community deity is Ilanka Maniyan, but spiritually Maharajan has developed a fancy for the Saivite gods. He used to read Devarams to worship the Saivite deity in poetic genre. Visit to Nadarajar temple in Chidambaram is considered a great privilege, and Maharajan, along with his nephew, embarked on a journey on foot to Chidambaram. On reaching Chidambaram temple, he understood that he has no entry into the temple as he belonged to a member of a caste which is considered an outcast in the Hindu society. Weary and tired, he sunk into sleep only to have a dream of seeing a man in white robe. He did not want to waste his long journey which he undertook by foot. Hence, he decided to visit his relative in Tanjavur. Those relatives were Christians and were following, and on the following Sunday, he attends the Sunday service. In the church, Reverend Cole Hope was sharing the word of God. He was amazed to see the face of the person whom he had seen few days back in his dreams. He was amazed to see people of all castes worshipping in one sanctuary of God. He was attracted towards the teachings of Jesus and the way of the worship. After getting convinced of the Christian faith, he took baptism. The point I am trying to drive home is, neither Maharasan nor most of our ancestors are not rice bag Christians. Missionaries did not come to the princely state of Truangure. Maharasan Vedamanikam brought the London Missionary Society to the princely state of Truangure. His story is yet another example to reinforce that none of the early Christians during the British period got converted to Christianity for material or financial favors. Second, the book is a history of a social activist. As a lieutenant for Reverend Ringal Tauba, Reverend Mead, Reverend Malt, he participated in the Upper Cloth Rebellion that happened in the princely state of Truangure and also got arrested. Narayana Guru worked for the Ilava community. Mahatma Ayyankali worked for the Pulayar community. But Maharasan Vedamanikam worked for the dignified lifestyle for all the socially marginalized communities in the princely state of Truangure. This book is a bridge between the German Lutherans and the British Anglican missionaries in India. The contribution of Germans into the southern part of India is commendable. Even in the case of Tirunelveli, it is Renius who really transformed the basic fabric of Tirunelveli, and he is called the Apostle of Tirunelveli. This book deals with the trials and tribulations of the German Lutherans like Reverend Ringal Tauba and Reverend Malt, and the British Anglican Reverend Mead. The link was Maharasan Vedamanikam. So he was the link between the two churches. Fourth, this book would command more acceptability. We are living in an era, everything is considered a missionary plot. This book is written by Pulavar Nanjil Narayana Tulhapian, who is a Hindu. Hence, this book will not be evangelical in nature, but be neutral in the narrative. I am sure this book will get more acceptability from all the religious and caste communities. This book is a reminder of the caste subjugation. Now there is a trend among the caste Hindus that European missionaries have portrayed the lifestyle of the 19th century caste Hindus in bad taste. This book presents the actual life struggle of the socially marginalized communities in the 19th century. This book will stop the caste Hindus joining the hands with the right-wing fundamentalists of India. 6. This book vouches the empowerment of the Nadar community in the Nanjil Nadu. Whenever people talk about Dalit theology, they always project that the Dalit Christians are being marginalized by the Nadar Christians. But they forget the same Nadar is a Dalit in the CSI dioceses in the northern parts of South India. This book would remind the Nadars were marginalized, equally marginalized in the similar fashion Yelavas, Parayas and Pulayars were subjugated in the past and come to this position with sheer hard work instead of remaining in a victim syndrome. This book is a reminder for the Nadars that their social status was elevated by the struggle carried by Maharasan Vedamanikam, who belongs to a Sambar rice cultivating Parayar community. This book will bring harmony between the Nadar and the Dalits. Seventh, this book would facilitate not to have one more Mandaikadu carnage in future. In 1928, there was a bid to kill Reverend Mead at Mandaikadu, where he was staying one night. Timely help from Captain Sebald saved Reverend Mead. There used to be harmony between the Nadar Hindus and the Christians, but the upper caste communities did not like this harmony and wanted to divide them based on religion. On 1st March 1982, there was excessive use of loudspeakers at the Bhagavati Amman temple and in the church. The upper caste communities used this as an opportunity to incite riots. The peace committees formed by the caste Hindus and the Christians ended the carnage without much loss of human life. This book will be a reminder not to become a prey to the ploy of the upper caste community. This book, everyone in Kanyakumari district should read. This book, every Dravidian should read. Now I am told it has lot of poetic information and poetic excellence, and in which case, because I have not read the book, and I wish that every Tamil-loving Indian reads this book. This book should be in possession of everyone who is interested in the church history. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend Stephen, for your wonderful felicitation.